and he breaks free down the middle of the field, and that is going to be no one other than KJ Smith, and he's in for a touchdown.
The Bulldog Radio Network proudly presents the Coach Gray Show on 102.7 FM, Kearney's hometown radio station. And now, here are the hosts of the show, Mike Davis, Jim Dickerson, and Coach Josh Gray.
It is Thursday. Welcome to the Coach Gray Show. And Coach Gray, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
It's good to have you here again, as always. And Jim Dickerson, my friend and co-host of this show, and the voice, that's right, the voice of the Kearney Bulldogs is back.
But not always. And I'm glad you brought that up. So, first of all, thanks to Kelly Gentry for filling in for me last week when I was out of town.
No doubt.
But I noticed, so there were all sorts of comments about, what a great job Kelly did. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly, you're the greatest. And
you didn't even get a fruit basket.
No, and I was looking at Facebook or the book face or whatever, or Instagram or wherever I was looking, and reading about the 33,000 comments of accolades to Kelly. And I didn't see one. When's Jim coming back? Not one. Kelly's the greatest. Kelly.
What does this say to you, Jim?
Well, it says I need to do better. I need to strive to be a better person. Kelly will never do another game. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, Kelly. You did a great job.
Hurt your feelers.
You hurt my feelings.
Hurt your feelers. This I know is not true.
I'm like, what I'm waiting for is Kelly's going to miss a basketball game, and they're going to call me and say, "Hey, can you fill in for basketball?" Which, by the way, you don't want to do because I would be horrible at basketball. Man. And I'll probably get one comment, and it won't be, "Oh, you were great." It'll be like, "When's Kelly coming back?"
Well, he is. He's quite talented, and we had a great time. And Coach, it was yes, Grain Valley 14, Bulldogs 7 last week, and it was a heartbreaking interception at the end of the game. I'm not telling anybody anything they don't already know. In fact, I mentioned to Jim, I went back over the broadcast on Saturday morning, thinking that I may have had a little bit too much of a heavy heart, and I wanted to be sure that I didn't say or do anything because I had completely lost my objectivity when I saw that ball get away from us from the 11-yard line or whatever it was. It may have been first of goal, whatever it was. We were preparing to take over this game. We had already done that, and we talked about it off the air. It's been a week, and you all are over it. You're looking forward to tomorrow night's game against Winnetonka. And here we are, but I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, and it doesn't come down to just that one play that loses. It's not one play that makes a game, and it's the whole game makes the game, right? And we did it. I felt we did a great job throughout the game. Obviously there was a few miscues and everything. And that's every Friday night. There's always going to be a few things that don't get done correctly or whatever it may be. But I think our kids fought, and that was a great drive. We just didn't finish like we needed to, and I think that was another great learning experience for us. And those things, I think with games like that and with some of the games that we've had thus far, we've faced some great competition, and that is going to make us better. And I know a couple weeks ago I said the same thing, and I've seen us grow and I've seen us get better each week. We just got to make sure that we get over that hump. And obviously our guys we're a little down on Saturday as well as the staff. But I'll tell you one thing. On Saturday, after we got done with our meeting and we watched the film and we got done with everything that we watched and we learned from and are moving on to the next week, our focus and everything came in sight of what needed to happen for the rest of the season. There's by far, there's a lot of football left with this football team. Our guys are focused in, they're driven, and our staff is driven and focused on what we've got to do and continue to do over the next couple weeks before we get into the playoffs and get into our district and get into district play, which I think that competition and everything that we've done thus far has prepared us and gotten us into some adverse situations and some learning experiences that we can take that will end up helping us down the road. We ended up on the short end on Friday night, last Friday. But a lot of great things, I think, happened throughout the game in all three facets. Obviously, when you dissect the film on Saturday or Friday night after the game and you dissect it and you watch it again on Saturday before you start preparing for your opponent, you're like, well, man, if we would have done this, could have done that. Well, it didn't. Some of those things didn't happen. And that's when you slow the game down and you look at it like that, you're going to nitpick all the things that need to, you get pretty nitpicky on things that happened and transpired through the game, and it's important that you show the great things that you did and continue to build on those. And our guys have responded, and I think, people think, or, you watch some college football teams or other programs or other teams, that have lost some close games or have lost some tough games to some tough competition. And, it's like, well, our guys have not batted an eye on Monday, came in focused and ready to go and prepared and know what we're capable of doing and know what they're capable of doing and confident in themselves, and doing what we've set out to do right from the beginning of the season back in June when we first started our first camp. And, this is an exciting team. They're pretty resilient and they keep fighting. And, there's great things that are going to happen with this football club and with this football team and with this program. And, we're like you said from the get-go, we're ready to move on to the next game and continue to show how we're getting better.
And you talk about the kids that did a great job. I mean, we watched great football all night long. In fact, I don't think I've seen, and I mentioned it in our news story, the article the day after, how these two teams matched up so well. I mean, on paper, you looked at them and you go, okay, this is going to be a great game. Well, you know what? As it turned out, it was. It was a fantastic game. We were just on the wrong end of it by the time it was all said and done. But I looked at our player of the week this week was Zach Grace, and we had no trouble whatsoever this week of saying that guy, that dude. I mean, he was, 111 yards on 8 receptions, and the guy just got open, and his, we talk about his yards after catch or, whatever.
The yak?
Yeah.
Mike
right?
calls it the rack.
Right.
We've changed it.
Yeah.
To yak,
right. Thanks, Jim.
My pleasure.
Kelly
Gentry probably would not have.
Let's talk about Zach Grace.
Yeah.
What an athlete. Not to mention the fact that he's on the defense, too. He plays linebacker, not all the time, but you see him in there. And he's disruptive as a linebacker. I mean, the guy is an all-round football player.
Yeah, Zach is a very, you talk to Zach and he's a pretty calm, pretty quiet, doesn't get real loud, and he just does work. And when he plays some defense and plays obviously tight end. And the thing with Zach, as big as he is, he's so athletic. He's very athletic and move well in space. And when he catches the ball, he's got soft hands. And then, after he catches it, he is just making some definite yak after the catch.
He's yakking, man. He's out there yakking.
I mean, he's a very physical kid and is not shy to bust through some would-be tacklers, and just does a really good job and runs some really crisp routes at the tight end position for sure.
Yeah, he's got that sort of basketball mentality. That shows, and that somebody that's that big that can move around like that. Well, you want to see this guy posting up. He's the kind of guy you want to put underneath that basket, and we see it all the time. And it's just it's neat to see a guy that that other teams just they're accounting for that guy. That you have to account for him. So,
yeah, you better. I mean, he's just one of the other weapons that we've got that we utilize, and he does a great job. And he's kind of a silent leader. I know I said he wasn't very vocal, but everything he does and leads by at his position by what he does, and that's a great way for him to lead the program for sure.
Casey Rooney did a pretty nice job the other night. Looked real good. 173 yards of passing, and he had the one, oh my goodness, beautiful ball that he hit Ian Acosta over there on the sideline for the, to set us up to potentially for the go ahead early to tie the game, and that was just a thing of beauty. And I knew, we talked about he's got a strong arm. And he's able to really fire that ball quickly. Sometimes maybe too quickly, because I would think that ball is going to be tough to catch on short passes as hard as he throws. But this one couldn't have been timed any better. Ian Acosta running absolutely full speed and full stride on the sideline, and the ball lands right in his hands, and there we are.
Yeah, Casey's really he's done a good job and being composed, and as a sophomore, still learning a few things, but. This week has really matured a lot, and has really, as far as taking that position and kind of going with it, he's done. I think mentally, and the team kind of helps elevate him, where everything's not on his shoulders. He doesn't have to create every single play, and he really, I don't want to say he's a manager, because he delivers the ball and he makes some plays, and that's what you want. And he's growing into that, and he's definitely getting that game in. It did a great job coming in and slinging the ball around for sure.
Last year you had for a while you had Ian and Minert.
Yeah.
Good job, Brian. Wow, just like a spotter. Well done.
My old age, it made it escape me just for a second. But you had Minert and Acosta kind of switching off at quarterback. And now, after Acosta got hurt this time, and then you've got them kind of switching back and forth a little bit, it looks like, does that open up your offense, without giving away too much strategery, does it open up your offense a little bit where you're not having to focus completely on, so that the defense can center in on KJ, it open up some things to spread out the offense a little bit?
Yeah, as we kind of tried to work Ian back in after getting injured, and he's done a great job of being very versatile in what he does. I mean, he's obviously he's a good athlete, and he's got good guys around him. I think what that does, it just kind of, like you said, it able to expand the offense a little bit and highlight some of the things that he does well. And he's an elusive runner. He's an effective thrower, and so is Casey. So. How do you kind of intertwine all those things into one package, into one deal? And Coach Diefenbach, our offensive coordinator, has done a great job in kind of facilitating both of those. And it's they're definitely both weapons, and being able to utilize them both.
Yeah, it's kind of fun when they're both out on the field, because from a defensive standpoint, now, especially when they walk out there, the defense doesn't know where they're going to be. So who do I focus on? And it's not like in the NFL where you have years and years worth of film. You don't have a whole lot. So when they see both of them out there and everybody's like, well, who's going to, I don't know, you get some coverages that are maybe missed.
Right. And that's, you don't know if, because Casey's a good athlete. I mean, he can wind up at wide receiver. And Ian Thorne. I mean, there's just a lot of things that brings your team that you're able to do offensively with things. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
that was pretty vague, wasn't it?
Well, I didn't expect you to say, so on Friday, here's what's going to happen. We're going to send Ian out.
Yeah, exactly. It's nice to have a host of good athletes, though, and a lot of speed on the team. That's one of the things that is real obvious. I mean, as we watch the game, that there's just tons of speed on both offense and defense, and speed kills, baby.
That's right.
There's what was the guy? Remember the guy on the Royals?
That's what speed do. That's Gerard Dyson.
Yep.
I have a T-shirt that says that, and I wore it one time to another city, and
didn't bode very well for you.
Nobody understood it, and I spent 20 hours explaining it to everybody who walked by. They're like, what does your shirt mean?
Maybe if they watched the World Series, they would have known.
I know.
I wanted to mention, because it's obvious, but KJ Smith had 132 yards of rushing and 8 yards
in 3 quarters.
Yes, exactly. But I wanted to give the offensive line credit on that as well. Now, yes, he busted a few wide open, but that doesn't happen by accident.
Yeah.
So great job offense and on that offensive line all the way across.
The offense is clicking, and
yes.
I think you'll see more of that. And hats off to our O-line. They did a great job of not only pass pro, but running the ball and executing what we needed to do.
Yeah, and the other thing that I saw, and in fact, we had Brian had shot a couple of pictures from the booth, which was pretty cool. And I was trying to find one of KJ, and there were several because he had a pretty good night, until he got hurt. But there were pictures of him where it looks like he was just all alone on the field, and he had nothing but daylight in front of him. I think that's one of them right there. And I'm looking, if you're for those of you who can see it on our simulcast, he's got a hole big enough, and believe me, the guy number 2, that corner didn't have a really good angle on him, and I have a feeling that might have been one where he ran it for 15 yards or more.
Yeah, the thing that he's learned over the year and early on, a testament to him, is he's very coachable and he's a very smart football player. And obviously very explosive. And I know I said this before, and I'll say it again and probably multiple more times, but his vision that he's got and what he's able to do at the second level, he makes one cut, and then his second cut off that corner on a big run just to set him up, his vision and his anticipation, and then being able to get vertical to make that second cut. Is just really fun to watch him play, and especially when you watch the second day and watch some of his runs that he makes, and sees the hole that opens up and is patient at times, and then bursts and then makes a jump cut and is gone. It's fun to watch. Yeah,
no doubt. We got to take a short break. We are going to come back. Let's talk about the defense when we come back. You're listening to the Coach Gray Show. That's right. It's Thursday. We got a game tomorrow night too. It's an away game at Winnetonka. We'll talk about that. Stay with us. We'll be right back with the Coach Gray Show.
Special thank you going out to underwriters like these for their support of KPGZ.
I'm Sean Barber, owner of Stables Local Kitchen and Patio in Kearney. Stables is a Kearney thing. We are all about our Kearney community. We love to be the place where people get together. Stables features a full menu with a scratch kitchen, offering lunch and dinner options. Stables has been a proud member of the Kearney community for almost 20 years, and we are very appreciative of the ongoing support from this wonderful community. You can check us out online at stables816.com, and Stables is part of the True 816 family. Eat, drink, local.
Celebrate fall with the Holiday Trio. Bees Flowers and Gifts is offering 3 months of unique flower arrangements to share and celebrate those special months of October, November, and December. Each bouquet features a seasonally themed assortment delivered in a charming holiday vase. The Holiday Trio is now available at Bees Flowers and Gifts, 100 West Washington Street in Kearney, 816-628-6811, and their website is beesflowers.com. Bees, your first choice for flowers.
Welcome back to the Coach Gray Show.
Mike and I were still in conversation over there.
We acted like we didn't know that we were actually going to be on the air.
I didn't know what we were going to say. Well, I was actually going to say something. Number one was,
radio doesn't wait for us, Jim.
I know. And one was, how did I grow? There we go.
That was awesome.
All these chairs and cameras. I just wanted to give, because I wasn't here yesterday for the Kearney Live, but for those of you who didn't know, who are watching the Coach Gray Show, KPGZ, the radio station side, not KMO-TV, but KPGZ won Business of the Year in Kearney for 2021.
Congratulations.
So,
that is awesome.
Thank you, Coach.
Very much deserved. Very much deserved.
And one of well, thank you very much. You know, there's so many people I want to thank. And but anyway, one of the things that helps propel that along is actually this show. It's like the second highest rating show we have.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. The highest rated show we have right now is Kearney Live. Second highest rated is the Coach Gray Show. But you only run like 4 months of the year. 3.
Oh, baby. That's right.
Yeah. So
we can truly say we couldn't do this without you.
Now, before you get too excited, the other high-rated show is football, and but here's the catch: it doesn't have the video component. But what is the one thing that the 3 top highest-rated shows have?
I don't know, Jim Dickerson.
And Mike Davis.
Yeah, but you're kind of a big deal.
Well, that's true.
You know?
That's true. But no, it was really cool to get Business of the Year. We were
Sure is.
That was a week ago tonight. That we
I
were
know.
at that thing, and I ate so much food. I'm still paying for that. But that's
It
a
was
whole other thing.
a great time, and hats off to the Kearney Chamber of Commerce. We can't say it enough. Just a fantastic organization, and Stacy Bratcher's done a terrific job with that organization. And we have met so many fantastic people through the chamber, and people. It is, and we've mentioned it before, Jim, but this is a unique Chamber of Commerce, I believe, at least citywide, because you and I have both been involved in others. And this is one where people actually care. So and believe me, it's unusual.
And actually, one of the award winners was Bees, Flowers, and Gifts, which happens to be a sponsor of this program.
Let's segue.
In fact, she has a commercial that runs during the break.
Well, let's do this. We talked about this play. Actually, the Bees, Flowers play of the game. We talked about this very play in the first segment, Coach, and this is that long pass from Casey to Ian Acosta. Let's have a listen.
Three receivers split to the left side. Rooney rolls to the left side, looking long, hits Zach Grace. Great throw by Casey. Great catch and footwork by Zach.
He's going to get the first down.
He was right at the first down marker. That was
let's go next to that one. Oh, my goodness.
That we'll see what happens here, but that's a big play on 4th and 10.
Yes, and with precious little time to go, 1:37 on the clock, with the Bulldogs trailing by 14-7.
And he stepped out of bounds, so it stops the clock with 1:37 to go. 1st and 10 from the 20. Rooney steps up, looking to throw long, has a long pass, has a man open. Ian Acosta makes the catch at the 35-yard line. What a great throw.
Absolutely reeled that catch in, did Ian Acosta. He was running down the sideline with all he had, all the speed he had, and handed to the quarterback, Casey Rooney, who put that ball right on the money for the sideline catch. And, Mr. We are in business. Mr. We were in business, and I forgot to mention that was, in fact, I'd forgotten that we crammed those two together because they were so, I think they both played off of each other, and you could tell the momentum had clearly shifted to the Bulldog side. But terrific job, and thanks so much to Bees Flowers for sponsoring our play of the game.
And award-winning Bees Flowers.
Yes, absolutely. No doubt about that. Yeah, she's done a terrific job of, I think, reshaping that business and kind of rebranding it from what it's been. So don't forget about Bees Flowers. Let's talk about defense, Coach. I like as I look at these totals, especially on tackles, it kind of tells you, who's making plays out there. I mean, everybody's got their role to play in football. We get it. But when I see these numbers here, I'm starting to see a pattern. When I look at number 33 and number 34, Will Lincoln and Darren Langford, and by the way, I have to apologize to his mom, I think twice. Once on a broadcast, a game broadcast, I've referred to him as Daryl. Yeah, I know, that was me. I apologize. It's Darren, I know. So number 34, he had 6 tackles, and those were solo tackles and 7 assists. And his cohort, Will Lincoln, was 6 and 6. So between the two of those guys, I mean, there's 15 total tackles on your 2 linebackers. These guys were busy.
Yeah, they were. They, can't say enough about Darren. Just a physical kid and all over the field, and it shows week in and week out what he's capable of doing. And Will Lincoln, our Mike linebacker, another gritty line, just a fiery kid and plays with passion and just shows a lot of grit. He got banged up a little bit, rubbed some dirt on it and went back out there, and those are the kind of kids that you want, and all of our kids are that way. They want to go compete and they want to highlight what they can do and fight and go do what they need to do to win the ball game. And Will is one of those kids and does a great job. And him and Darren back there is a wrecking crew.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It shows. And then, of course, Luke Nolan he just shows up every week. Yeah. He had 8 solo tackles and 2 assists for a total of 10 tackles. I mean, so now we've got 3 players with 25 tackles amongst them.
Yeah.
That's great to see.
Luke is and I think I said it last week about how he's, hangs out in the back and just kind of lurks and then just comes downhill like a freight train and will set your world on fire.
Yes.
And, does a great job of knowing what his job is and then executing it at a high level. And he's fun to watch play, and he's fast, he's smart, and has a knack.
Yeah, for anybody who's an NFL fan, and I'm sure most people listening are, every once in a while you'll see a safety that is just a hitter. Remember, Ronnie Lott comes to mind.
Steve Atwater.
Yes, exactly right.
Dudes like that. Yeah,
yes, and that just come out of nowhere and just destroy people. And I'm sorry, that's part of what makes the game fun. And,
football.
Let me put it this way: fun to watch, and not be on the receiving end of any of that nonsense.
That's why
I don't want any part of that.
That's why Jim doesn't play football.
Exactly.
Can we do a little education on the show? Sure. Okay. Good. Because we get this question all the time. Well, this isn't just high school, but you mentioned it. You said the Mike linebacker.
Yeah.
And it is hilarious because I see people all the time, not just on our show, but they're like, "What is Mike?" And my favorite response was somebody goes, "Well, that's the defensive guy that has his mic in the helmet."
Ah.
And I was like,
"Yeah, no." Yeah, well, it's a good guess. It's a logical guess.
I can see where you would get that from an educational basic standpoint. What is the Mike linebacker, so everybody can kind of?
So our Mike linebacker is our middle linebacker, and there's a story on why it was the Mike, but our Mike is the middle. There's some history lesson in there, but I won't bore you with that. But so Mike is our middle linebacker. Our Will is our weak side linebacker, and our Sam is our strong side linebacker.
Right. Well, and no,
You're looking at me.
I think that's awesome.
I don't have any more else.
I was trying to.
If there's some defenses only have 2 linebackers, and however they, who's their Mike or who's their Sam or Will or what they name them or what they call them. We have a bandit. There's also we also have a robber. It's also called a rover. It's called a weak safety, a strong safety. We have a free safety.
So
terminology and verbiage.
What I was going to say is because you hear, like on television, you'll hear, not so much in college, pros do it a lot. You'll hear them say 56 is the mic.
Yeah.
And then that's where I was kind of like, well, who cares if he's got a mic in his helmet? That was my favorite.
Yes.
But, so for an what's the significance of the quarterback calling out that guy's the mic? I don't know that they do it as much in high school. I know they do it.
We try to identify the middle linebacker or who we consider as the middle linebacker for the play that we're running or whatever we're doing to identify some of the blocking schemes that you're doing to identify who the mic is
and how you end up would call that out, right?
Yeah.
Most times, yeah.
So, and what that does, it would typically change where he's at and who's working or what you're doing per scheme.
And it's interesting, and not to go down this path, but I do find it interesting. There's a lot of people that don't realize, even on the defense, there are defensive calls and blocking schemes and all that. People, you just don't line up and, okay, you do when you're like 5-on-5 in the backyard, but there's actual we're running this defense, and
that's right.
And that's why, quite honestly, when a lot of times, not to be like too simplistic, but when some guy just runs free all the way through, and you're like, man, these guys are horrible. Well, it may be that we had the wrong scheme called up. We thought this was going to happen, but then that happened, and that kind of blew us.
Sure, that's right. And that you're right. Their defense has calls, whether it's a coverage, whether it's a stunt, whether it's a blitz, or whatever it is that, some sort of movement that we're doing. There's calls every play on what we're doing, or it could be a formation check, whatever that communication is, that the kids know to check to per formation or per movement of what we end up doing defensively.
Right, so your defensive captain is going to be looking to the sideline for that kind of information.
Right.
Yeah.
They get the call in, and,
Yes.
and they call the stunt, the blitz, the coverage, or whatever's going on. Or it's a check call of what we're doing, what we've practiced on what we're doing that week per that formation for what they've shown offensively.
Yeah, and I guess where I'm going with that is there is just so much going on every play, both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of moving parts. It's not just, we're running play 6, and then they all run out there and do something. There's a lot of moving parts.
While we're talking about that, I love the strategery. While we're talking about that, in fact, I noticed last week that Grain Valley had a sort of a strange-looking offensive backfield formation. I mean, it was like 3, the quarterback, and 2 running backs, all kind of crammed together in this little sort of triangle shape. What was that all about?
Didn't they do that last? Wasn't that the team that did that last year?
I'm not sure.
There was one
that did.
I can't remember, and it confused us. We were like, what are they doing?
And there's obviously different schemes and different ways to go about to try and gain an advantage number-wise of where you're running the ball or where you're trying to, run a counter play or whatever it is that you're doing. And sometimes it's just window dressing, and it really makes no difference to what the play's being ran. It's just out of a different formation or a different backfield. But, sometimes, those are sometimes new things that somebody may add in week to week, or they just do it because that's part of what they do offensively. Yeah.
So, well, we saw it, and it looked confusing. We didn't really even know how to describe it. But the fact that they were lined up, it wasn't an I formation, and there wasn't, one that was split out just a little bit, but still in the backfield, and you're trying to explain it, and we're kind of going, what is that? And in fact, it looked to me like bowling pins.
Yeah,
it did. It's sort of a little triangle shape. Yeah,
like a diamond.
They probably call it the eagle claw. There's just 3 of them, and they're right together like that. But I do remember
if they aren't, they should.
If it wasn't, I'm pretty sure it was Grain Valley, and they did that last year because it was complicated to see who got the ball because they were all clustered together. But the weak part of the play, I thought was, from my vast knowledge, was that it didn't matter because they're all coming from the same place. They're so close together, it doesn't matter who has the ball because one of them's got to come out with them, and everybody's converging on that.
Right.
But that means nothing. Let's move on. Mike?
Thank you, Jim. Getting back to Cameron Emmons, sophomore running back, and he's a linebacker as well. And he went out late in the game, but he did a terrific job, I think, filling in.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Great. Did a great job of coming in. Like you said, he plays linebacker and also plays some running back, and did a great job of filling in. And I think and Jake Gregory got in the game as well and did a good job of coming in and continuing to next guy up and continue to move forward. And but Cam, he did a good job of, he kind of goes a little bit some defense and some offense, and did a good job of filling in. And unfortunately that those things happen in the game.
We called Logan Ariano's name quite a bit last week too. He's a speedy guy, and on offense.
Oh yeah, he is. He's one kid that we're working our perimeter plays, working them, and we finally got one rolling. And the thing with him is, with his speed, he gets to the perimeter and then is able to cut on a dime and just get vertical and get some good yards. And he had some great plays and some good catches as well. So it was he's always fun to watch play, and exciting, and knowing you're going to get big plays out of him.
Yeah, all in all, as I look at these stats, it was that game was about as close and even as it could have been throughout the game. So nice job. I do want to move on to Winnetonka this week, Coach. Let's look ahead. Correct me if I'm wrong. They've got a brand new stadium now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep,
and this has been a long time coming. A little history. I was a sophomore at Oak Park High School in 1970.
My God!
Hello. They were building Winnetonka High School. We actually had, but there was a construction strike that summer. So therefore, we shared Oak Park High School with them for the first semester. And that meant, yes, that we started high school. Here's a bunch of kids that can't get up before noon. We had to be at school by 6 a.m. And so you're standing at the bus, but at 4 o'clock in the morning, or at least, trying to get there. Nonetheless, why is that background music playing? I didn't realize that.
It's almost like the Academy Awards.
We'll come back to that. But that's just a little Winnetonka history. Let's come back and talk about Winnetonka. You're listening to the Coach Gray Show. I was having too much fun. Stay with us.
You love the programming? Say a special thank you to the underwriters like these who support KPGZ.
I'm Sean Barber, owner of Stables Local Kitchen and Patio in Kearney. Stables is a Kearney thing. We are all about our Kearney community. We love to be the place where people get together. Stables features a full menu with a scratch kitchen, offering lunch and dinner options. Stables has been a proud member of the Kearney community for almost 20 years, and we are very appreciative of the ongoing support from this wonderful community. You can check us out online at stables816.com, and Stables is part of the True 816 family. Eat, drink, local.
Celebrate fall with the Holiday Trio. Bees Flowers and Gifts is offering 3 months of unique flower arrangements to share and celebrate those special months of October, November, and December. Each bouquet features a seasonally themed assortment delivered in a charming holiday vase. The Holiday Trio is now available at Bees Flowers and Gifts, 100 West Washington Street in Kearney, 816-628-6811, and their website is beesflowers.com. Bees, your first choice for flowers.
All right, welcome back to the Coach Gray Show. And all of my lengthy build-up was to only say, Coach, that Winnetonka has been playing at the North Kansas City, I guess, complex is what they're calling it now, forever. And as did Oak Park. And now Oak Park also has their own stadium, which is great. Good to hear.
Has Winnetonka won a game at home since the new stadium was built? No, I'm sorry. Have they lost a game at home since the new stadium was built?
We don't know. That's a good question.
Because tomorrow would be a good time.
I think that's right. Listen, we're familiar with these guys. We saw them last year, and we know there's a couple of guys that we will see again this year, but I don't think they're quarterback. I think it's a different quarterback this year, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about these guys.
Yeah, they've got some weapons, and they're a good football team, and obviously the record shows that. And they've, I think they lost some weapons last year, but I think they've replaced them pretty well. And for us, it's about, again, executing what we know how to do and finishing the job. And I know we're up to the task.
No doubt about it. And I think as we talked about our defense, pretty much all of these guys, as I'm looking at them, at least the guys that are making the plays on defense, the returning guys, they know what to expect.
That's right.
This is a fast-moving offense, and they've got the ability to get open, get downfield. And I don't know how this – I haven't seen this quarterback yet. But if he's anything like the guy last year, Jim, who's, I can't even think of his name now. But if he's anything like that,
he's able to, their quarterback this year is able to get the ball to their playmakers and does a good job. And, we're going to have to be execute and be on point and make sure we're focused in on what our job is and go out there and play like I know we're capable of playing, like we know we're capable of playing.
Well, I think that's right. And, we've talked about our defense. We talk about them every week. And I just love the matchup here. I think that there's we've talked about speed. I think speed on speed. It just makes the game that much more interesting. But I look at all these guys, but I'm looking at our secondary, and I remember how great of a job they did in that district playoff game that we won, by the way, last year at North Kansas City Stadium. A great game. Probably one of the better games that I've seen in high school football, period. But I like our secondary's chances in this game too.
Yeah, our guys week in and week out continue to perform well, and they expect a lot of themselves. I mean, they're competitors, and they don't feel the sometimes you can feel some pressure to have to execute and have to do that, and it's all about relaxing and just play the football game because they're confident and they're competent to do that. So. There's never a lot of pressure on them to go out and just go be you and just go play the football game.
Who's probably looking forward to this game a lot is Zach Grace. He had a great play in that playoff game.
Yes.
Yeah,
he did.
I don't want to say it was the key play, but it was
heck of a catch.
Pretty important.
Well,
but it was cool.
And who batted?
He was number 87 at
right,
the time. Thanks for that.
I know.
Now we're all confused.
He reminds me of that.
Here's the deal, Zach. At our age, it takes a while to kind of reconnoiter that.
Do you remember who batted the ball down at the end of the game?
It was Breedlove, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. He was you want to say that was the kicker that did that, but no, he was a linebacker, playing the linebacker position.
That's right.
Was he strong side or weak side?
He was on the strong side.
There you go. Yeah,
he was.
There you go.
A heck of a play.
We actually have audio that was one of our play. That was like the play of the year, I think.
I think it was. There was a long pause before that play, before that down, and I don't know why. I think the officials were trying to sort something out. And so we had some airtime to fill, and we talked about how this team had been what they'd been through last year and all of that, and it was, and then here it was, and it was fourth down, and this was the deciding.
And Mike Davis says, "One more down, just one more down."
And and I mean, Jim makes this beautiful call, and then we're both just screaming when we saw this ball, this pass, just batted down. Game over, baby.
That's right.
Yeah. So we hope to see something like that tomorrow night.
Do they have a one-legged quarterback?
I believe he's pretty solid.
These guys were as talented of a group, I think, as we faced last year. I know we hit a lot of tough teams, but that was one of the most talented I've seen.
Yeah, and it's going to be that way tomorrow night. And I think that's. Like I talked about at the start, our guys have been focused all week on what our job is and what we've got to do, and they understand where we're at, and we just continue to work and continue to come back and to continue to fight, and I feel we're continuing to grow in the right direction. I think our guys are definitely focused in on what we've got to do week in and week out, and I think. Again, going back to have us go through some of these adverse things that we've done, and times, those are the things that make you stronger if you respond from them. And our guys have, and will continue to learn and continue to go out there and show what they're capable of doing.
I think you're going to fill in for me just for a second, Jim. I'm trying to find this kid's name here on the roster.
So, are you guys wearing the white uniforms, or Mike kind of caught me off guard?
Sorry,
I wasn't ready
know.
for that.
Well, I'm trying to think of the kid's name. He's just incredibly talented.
On our team?
And no, on Winnetonka, and he has, I believe, he signed with Iowa State as a wide receiver, and I can't think of his name, but he's about as good of a wide receiver as you're going to see. But I also remember,
was it John Jackman? I'm just making names up. I'm trying to kill time here while he looks on the computer.
Well, we have plenty of time. I didn't realize we have full 10 minutes here, which is
right.
great. But so I just, but I'm looking at these names and none of them look familiar to me. So you just, I'm looking at the roster here and I'm not seeing anything that brings
thinking
back.
of Essex?
Essex, yes.
I was just going to see if you.
You were
going to
letting me kind of dangle in the wind here. I could see that. I see what you did there, Coach. Thank you.
I didn't want to interrupt you while you were doing your work.
There's two of them, aren't there?
Yeah. They got one that's play some running back.
Here it is. Yeah, John L. and Jason. But
Yes.
Jason is the senior wide receiver, 6'2", 208, and John L. Essex, wide receiver, free safety, cornerback. What else does he do? Nothing. Good grief. I mean, what's the deal with putting all that talent in one family? But, this is a...
Yeah, they're pretty explosive.
Yes.
Like I said, explosive team, and they definitely utilize their weapons. And, I think for us it's, not giving up a big play, which is always key, but even more importantly this week as well.
Tell me if I'm wrong or not. I think it was Luke Nolan last year that did such a great job defending him.
It was Joe Marshall. Well, it's a combination of both those guys, but Joe was on him. Joe Marshall was at corner, and Luke was they kind of comboed that a little bit at times.
And they were both sophomores last year, so I think that was the thing that I found so impressive.
And those guys have had, all those sophomores, those juniors that are now playing have had great experience last year of being on the field in some crucial games, and now taking that experience and it's showing again this year. And our younger guys this year are gaining that experience, and as well as, I think those are the things that our guys continue. I say each week that we continually get better as we learn from our mistakes, and we continue to fight and continue to work.
Is one of the Essex guys, is one of them a senior yet?
Yeah, he's the one that has signed with Iowa State.
And then the other one's a junior?
Let's see here.
Let me go the right direction.
You got a senior.
The other one's a junior?
Wait a minute. Are these guys? They're both seniors.
Oh.
So are they twins? I guess they're twins. Do we know, or we don't know? We don't know. That seems. I know. The questions would arise from this. I don't know. We're not going to speculate. What I am going to tell you for sure, though, is the game starts at 7, and it is.
And our guys will be ready. I'll talk about our guys.
Yes.
So
you want to talk about more of our guys? I'll talk about our guys all day.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Well, we've talked about the defense.
Yeah. Our D-line is ready to roll. Cale Conway had a great game last week and is definitely ready to get rolling again this week. Sam Lohman at nose had another great week. Briggs, Twilliger, and we have a host of guys that kind of do a little bit of rotation at that spot. And, our D-line has been really has stepped up in some crucial moments. And, each week I think has gotten better, not only defending the run, but obviously putting pressure on the quarterback. And with that combination with our linebackers has been pretty salty. So we're excited to get back at it Friday. And, one other, I think the one thing in our secondary that kind of is, and he was our Special Forces Player of the Week this week, was Drake Cole. Has done a good job in the secondary this year as well, at our free safety position. And he punted for us the other night and did a great job there. But also, for him, he's a kid that's been in the program, and I don't know if I said this before, but he's been in the program and had an opportunity this year and has really stepped up and done a great job and being physical when he sees the run, but also making some crucial plays in the passing game, as you would expect from a defensive back. So he's done a great job. John Timchak at corner has done a great job. Mason Carroll is working his way in and has shown what he's capable of doing. Another senior that has done a good job. And, we're excited to get these guys back out on the field. And the thing is, obviously each week they come out and we get through everything and they get hungry again to go out and compete and to go do what they do. And Jake Lowry is another corner that has done a great job in some position moving for him, and has found a spot at the corner position. It's kind of been rotating through with a couple guys, and that competition is what you want. That's what makes you better to go compete, to get out on the field, and to have that competition amongst your own team makes you a better football team.
And we talked. I'm sorry, Mike. We talked a little bit about our player of the week, but Brian, can you pull up their players? I don't know if we talked about that. So,
we've mentioned all of them.
Yes,
but let's talk
Grace,
about them. Yeah,
Conway. So, yeah, and Cole's in there too. So special forces. You talked about Cole.
Yeah.
Defense was Lincoln. Zach Gray. You're right. We did talk about all this.
Yeah. And those, and it's not, and obviously, just like you all, it takes everybody to be successful. And, I think our guys, they understand, and they want, great job in your game, and they want everybody to do well. And I mean, that's what you want. You want a tight knit group, you want a tight knit crew to take the field, and as a program, and as a team, and they cheer for each other. They want everybody to do great, because they want to do great, and they want to be successful. And, they don't work to just go out there and, let's go play a football game. No, they are a competitive group, and they are, they show that. And that's been good to see, that they are such a tight knit group, and backing each other. And, it's easy as a high school athlete to listen to the noise and hear, well, you got, they tune that out, and they come focused and ready to go, and love them to death, and great things are coming for them for sure.
I think that's right. You love an athlete who wants to compete against the best. You want to go out there and you want to say, bring it, come on, let's line up and let's play this game. I love that spirit. I love a competitor. And that's what I see on this team. I do have to mention, too, to Quentin Conway, if you're listening, bring a tripod this time if you're gonna record the game for us. And
I wondered where you were going with that. I was like, what?
We could use the footage, by the way. So no, we appreciate it. It was funny because when they were out there at Ruskin, that it was like, okay, we can't get on this ESPN3 thing because Jim's credit card was rejected, and so it was a miracle that we were able to actually see this game because Quentin Conway was giving us his best play-by-play at the same time and hold the camera with his hands, and so it's kind of moving around. So bring your tripod and just go slow. It'll be great.
Didn't we use some of his video on the news?
Yes,
yeah,
we did. That's all we had. Yeah.
So now
resourceful.
We got play-by-play people. We got Kelly Gentry and now Conway.
Quentin Conway, yeah, on camera, and
then me.
It's tough out there, Jim. It's tough being you. I know.
No idea.
I know that. Anything else? Where are we? About a minute or so to go, Coach. Anything we need to know about, or does our traveling team, the parents and everything, anything they need to know?
It's at the new stadium at the high school, so it's at Winnetonka High School.
I guess I have to ask the question every week. Any restrictions over there?
Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of.
Well, it's North Kansas City School District, so it's not like we're
right. I'm trying to think.
Everything.
Quentin Lucas has nothing to do with this one. So
thank God.
Yeah.
I think. I think they're
parking will be a premium. I'm sure, as in everything. I think there's some.
There is nothing like parking over at Platte County. Mike parked up in Iowa, I think.
Oh man, they pushed me way west. Yeah, I remember that.
I parked in a puddle.
Well,
I remember that.
It's because we had on purple shirts.
Yeah. We weren't treated that well.
Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Don't miss it. Kearney Bulldogs at the new stadium over there at Winnetonka High School. The Winnetonka Griffins. That's right. Yep. That's where we are going to be, or at least if we're not going to be there, we will be watching it. I plan on being there. I hope it's not raining. Well, I hope
is what it is.
I know it's football. I get
there
it.
There you go.
But at my advancing age, I don't like to get wet.
I'll let you in on a little secret. Tomorrow is my birthday.
Hey, all right.
You know what I want for a birthday present?
Big dub.
Yep, that's affirmative. Big 10-4 right there.
You have been listening to the Coach Gray Show in all its glory. That's right. And it is so good having Jim Dickerson back with us. Good. You've been out of town for a while. Good to see you back. And Coach Gray, best of luck to you tomorrow night against the Winnetonka Griffins. We are looking forward to it. And thank you, Brian Watts, for being who you are. We love you.
The award-winning Brian Watts.
Yes. Join us next week for this crazy mess. The Coach Gray Show. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week.